has a sense of who you are, please.
Hi, my name's Cleo Murphy-Garrett. I'm in my 4th year here, and I spent some time in Rwanda last year. First of all, thank you for coming and speaking with us and taking our questions. I appreciate it. My question is, there was a recent reconciliation program that came under fire in the media when it prompted Hutu children born after the genocide to apologize to Tutsis on their parents' behalf. I'm curious as to how a program like this is conducive to building a Rwandan national identity and how it can aid reconciliation when it seems to perpetuate divisive identities.
Right. I think the media or some other people are fond of distorting what we are doing. Nonetheless, we still get good results from what we are trying to do. The origin of that and what it is not how it is put. Nobody has been told or forced to apologize for things they are not responsible for, or to apologize for others. No, that's not what it is. In fact, it is called the process, and the idea is named Ndu Munyarwanda. Ndu Munyarwanda means you are stressing the national identity, the identity of being Rwandese, not Hutu, Tutsi, Twa, as we have known in the past. And under that, across the board, Rwandans are saying what is on their mind, and they are given an opportunity, even for those who may actually feel, one, that people committed a crime in their name, because that's what happened in 1994. When these killings we are talking about happened in 1994, and what was on the radio and how the whole population was being mobilized, it was being mobilized in the name of an ethnic group. So this is not a secret. It was out there. It is known. And it was one section of the population being mobilized in the ethnic name to kill another ethnic group in the same community of Rwandans. And in fact, many Rwandans, including, say, those either who actually have maybe gone through the courts, the Gacaca courts or the traditional courts, and answered and were held accountable and answered their charges and are now free, or beat those who are related to them. For them, they are happy to come out and say, you know what happened in our history was wrong. Nobody should have used our name to commit such a crime, because we did not subscribe to that. And in fact, they needed an opportunity to come out openly and say that it's another healing process among many other efforts that we have carried out in the country as we move to consolidate reconciliation, and as we go through the process of justice, which we are now actually leaving behind us, because like Gacaca courts have already wound up and they are no longer running. They went for about 10 years and we have ended the process. Now, that was to take over from Gacaca, where people come out and speak and freely talk about their own history, about their own association, about others, and so on and so forth. It's something that Rwandans are very happy about, and it's working. It's consolidating national unity that we seek to have, to leave the sectarian politics behind us.
Others, sir, right here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Samuel Gebru. I'm an Ethiopian American, and I live here in Cambridge. And my question to you is in regards to regional and continental integration. So similarly to doing business in Rwanda, could you talk a little bit about, because I know Rwanda now has a common pass program with some of your neighboring countries. What is your vision for maybe a continental program? Because some countries, moving from one place to another as an African citizen, there's a lot of hurdles to get into another country. What are your thoughts on that, and how can Africa be more conducive to intra-Africa trade and investment?
Very good question. In the East African region, we have an East African community of 135 million people. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and Rwanda together. We've been working toward integration, where we come together more or less as eventually we hope to have a political federation. But today we have a customs union, it's one common market, we are moving to another step of monetary union, where we could have one currency operating across the 5 countries, and hopefully with the political federation. There have been other efforts in other regions of the continent. Some are working faster than others. Like in West Africa, they have a grouping called ECOWAS, which seems also to be holding together and moving quite well. It's taking long, but I think they are moving steadily forward. There are other groupings in the southern part and the northern part and so on and so forth, but some ahead of others in this process of integration. But the whole idea really is it's good for the whole of Africa to be together. But you can't just have 54 countries all together all of a sudden or in a fortnight. You have to probably have these regional groupings come together eventually and to serve the whole continent. For Rwanda, in the East African region, Rwanda's practices come way ahead of some of the other members. For example, on the particular question which you raised that is very important, free movement of people across Africa. So what we have done ourselves in Rwanda is to allow every and any African to visit, come in, get out. There is no problem of a visa. You get the visa at the airport. While in most of the other places, to get a visa to travel to that place may take you weeks, months, or you may never even get it. And of course, if you don't work on the freedom of movement of people, then intra-African trade gets more complicated also. You don't realize as much. In fact, today it is very evident across Africa, intra-African trade contributes only 17%. 17% is very low. So the potential, if we were at 80% or 90%, is huge, even before we think about attracting other investments from outside of the continent. So this is how we stand, and we keep emphasizing it. We work within the African Union to raise the importance of this, but some people are still lagging behind others.
Thank you. How about somebody over here? How about this young lady right here?
Hello, Mr. President Kagame. My name is Aram. I'm from Ghana. I'm in my second year here at Tufts. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming in, and thank you so much for harping on the fact that Africa needs to be self-reliant. Mm-hmm. My major question is, what is, on the whole African continent, what is it looking like? What is our journey towards self-reliance looking like? Because for some of us looking in from the outside, it seems like Africa is stuck in a vicious cycle of reliance on the West or from other places through things like foreign aid, and it seems also that international trade is not in our favor. So how is our journey towards self-reliance really looking like?
Right. What is looking like is there is good progress, but we are not where we want to be yet. In fact, far from that, because again of what I was saying, there is general understanding, and I think across the board in Africa, people understand the need for integration, the need to work together, the need for self-reliance, and so on and so forth. But it's one thing to know what you need, and another to do what fits what you need. And that's where the major difference is. We are still not doing exactly what we know we need to do in order to be where we have chosen, or in the direction we have chosen to move. But I think the way Africa was 10 years ago is not the way it is today. There is progress, literal progress. Nonetheless, some progress, but we need to move faster than we are actually moving. This is the major challenge. And again, as we are, you have a point, you are making a point. As we struggle and make this progress, then there are things that always develop that tend to make the reversal of what we have been doing. Different trouble spots. We have Central Africa falling apart, Central African Republic, we still have Somalia, then there's Mali the other day, then there's... So some of these things have roots in the long history. Some of it I have touched in my speech, but we shouldn't use that as an excuse anyway. We just needed to have drawn lessons from that, and then we just keep moving forward.
And I think we have time for one more. How about something right over here? This gentleman. Sure.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for being here today. It's quite a pleasure. My name is Randall Quinn, and I'm a student here at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. My question today is, given your recent statements dismissing allegations of seeking a potential third political term, I wonder if you might comment on your vision for the political future of Rwanda, both in the near future and post-2017, and specifically, what do you see for the future of the RPF and your potential role, if any, in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The same in every country.
I'm asked these questions every day, but they always come as a surprise. But seriously, on the other hand, I think at some point we need to leave countries and people to decide on their own affairs. That's number one. That's a big problem always. But why I'm saying that, you know, I have been asked when or whether I'm going to leave office right at the time I was starting office. So every year that passes, I've been asked, are you leaving? When are you leaving? It's as if I'm there just to leave. No, I'm there to do business entrusted in me by Rwandans. These Rwandans made their choice. We've gone through a lot of hardships. We're trying to rebuild our country. And I think, as I said earlier, we need to learn to be serious about dealing with our problems. And of course, we are not insensitive at all to the world we live in. Rwanda cannot be an island. Rwanda is a small country, part of Africa, but also part of this world we live in. So we are not insensitive to that. But at the same time, before you come to that, I think we need to sort out ourselves out at home and do things. And as we respect ourselves and respect others, I think we need to be respected and respected as to our choices about what we need to do for ourselves. So I don't know what answer to give you on that, but let's wait and see what happens as we go. And whatever will happen, we'll have an explanation.
Well, on that interesting note, I think we'll say thank you to the President for a candid and wonderful conversation. Thank you.